Hello guys, today we're going to make a beef stew. So we have olive oil, we have some bay leaves, a chicken stock cube, garlic, a cinnamon stick, white pepper, salt, thyme. We have an onion, carrots, potatoes. We're going to put on our stew, we're going to put tomato pulper, but we're also going to jazz it up with some port, and this is tawny. Hello JJ.
Hello. I brought you feathers. Your green beans.
My green peas, yes.
Oh, peas! I thought you wanted beans.
Green peas, it's okay. So the vegetable, it's okay. The vegetables for our stew are going to be green beans, but you can use green peas, broccoli and carrots, and the Porto I'm using, port wine, is a tawny, and you can get tawny, ruby, and then you have your white sherries, and tawny just isn't as deep as the ruby. It's not as sweet and it's a lot lighter. So that's how we're going to jazz up our tomato beef stew today. What do you think, JJ? Green beans or green peas today?
I think feathers. It's very Portuguese.
Green beans?
Green beans.
Green beans, okay.
So green beans, not green peas.
Or favas. But you can use those if you wanted. So here we have our nice, delicious stewing beef. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of that fat off, cut it into pieces for our stew. While I'm doing that, Judie's going to peel some carrots. Get that out of the way. And to take off our fat, we don't want to take all of the white fat out, because that goes towards making the taste. So these bits on the top, generally, we're going to cut out, and it is just chopping it away. There's no real technique that I can show you over the video. Just try not to take too much meat when you're taking away the fat. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to just take off this little bit here.
I don't know if you can buy a cubed stewing steak. I guess you can't you, already cubed?
Yeah, I mean, you can also ask your butcher to do this kind of job for you. And the size that we're going to cut our pieces are going to be roughly, what did you say that is, Judy? 2 centimetres square?
I'd say it was a piece of meat, Vere.
It is
what
a
would
piece
you
of
say
meat,
it was?
But the size-wise?
About 1 inch squared.
So 3 centimetre squares, just like that. I'll even put them along the front there, so you can see them.
Whoopsie.
And this is going to be plenty for 4 people. It's 700 euros worth of meat, 700
Very
grams,
expensive meat.
700 grams of beef there, and we're going to chop that all up. What?
There's going to become a time when it will be 700 euros
For a portion of meat?
For a piece of meat like that.
Maybe. Okay, so we have cut our meat up, and we, as you can see, we'll easily get 4 portions of beef out there. They won't be this big when they're finished. They'll shrink. They'll be tasty, moist cubes of meat. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn on the fire for our heavy pot on the stove. We're going to turn it up to full blast, and we're just going to add salt and pepper to our meat. We're going to take our meat and we're just going to add our salt and white pepper, just to give the meat a little bit of extra flavour.
And I'm going to cut these, Vere, into just...
Quite bigger than that, chunks.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it's a stew, we don't want everything to cook in 5 minutes. We want everything to blend together, the tastes and everything. Yep. A little bit smaller than what the meat would be, basically, is how you do it. So we've got the potatoes and the carrots all about the same size. So when we're cooking it, we know that when this is ready, the potatoes will be ready and the carrots will be ready at the same time. We won't cook it all at the same time. it'll be kind of staggered. But if everything's the same size, then we kind of know.
Because you want your vegetables to have a bit of a
bite. A bit of a bite. So our pan is now very hot.
So the potatoes whole?
We're going to put the potatoes in whole.
Okay. What, even the bigger ones?
Even the bigger ones.
Okay. And what do you want done with these green beans?
So the green beans, top and tailed, that is, so we top it and we tail it. So we cut off those two bits, so we've just got our green bean.
Like so? And then just chop it, yeah?
Yeah, into big pieces, yeah. So we've got our pan, we're going to put some olive oil, we're going to do a 3 count, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to, Judy just asked me a moment ago, am I going to put flour onto the meat? No. That's a very old way of doing things to help thicken up the sauce. But because we're using tomato, it's a tomato sauce. We don't really need to thicken it because by the time it's cooked, it would reduce. The vegetables and the potatoes will then make up the sauce. So we're just going to drop this now into our hot oil. Like that. Another thing is people say, well, you have to brown the meat. We do, it doesn't have to be really brown. We're just going to cook it a little bit, get it all covered in oil and fried a little bit. And while that's there, I am going to cut the onion and get the garlic ready to go into our pot. So we're just going to cut our onion into quite big chunks, like that.
Everything in this stew is a little bit chunky.
So we've got everything is, if you have a look, everything's kind of around the
big.
same size, big chunky size. And we're going to add this to our beef. And if you have a look at that, you can see what's happening in there. The liquid is from the meat. And they're browned and they already smells very nice. And I'm just going to drop those in there.
Nice.
Give it a little mix around. Okay, let's continue. Then we have our garlic, which I'm going to slice this time. I'm not going to, what did you say? Mince. I'm not going to mince it. I'm going to slice them. So that it cooks for a long time. When you cook garlic out, they become sweet. Yeah. So it's just a different way of presenting.
You nearly
I did. I forgot where I was then. It's just a different way of presenting the garlic, and again, it's a slightly different taste as well. So we got our 4 garlic cloves.
Okay.
Yep. And we're going to drop that into our pan now. Give that another good stir around. And then next, we're going to put our cinnamon stick and our bay leaves. Yep, and we're just going to drop those straight in. I have 1 bouillon. This is chicken bouillon. You can use beef bouillon.
Or vegetable bouillon.
Or vegetable if you really want to, but because it's meat, better use a meat stock. So I'm going to put 1 cube inside. We then have our wild thyme from the garden. And I'm just going to take this in half because I don't want to put all of it in right now. And I'm just going to drop that in.
Stalks and all?
Stalks and all. The stalk has a lot of flavour in this. And because it cooks for so long, it will
evaporate.
So it won't evaporate too much, but they'll be much softer.
So you won't be eating a stalk?
No. And at this stage, I'm also going to put my cup of port. As I said, this is tawny, so it's a very light, it's not very sweet, but it does offer a really nice taste to the stew. So I'm going to put a cup of port inside.
Big cup?
Yep. No, it's not a big cup.
Is it a big cup?
No. We are now going to put our tomato in pulpa or pieces, and tomato puree. Just put all of that in there like that.
Do you
And
want me to swizzle this out with some water?
a little bit of water, yeah, that'd be cool. And all of that one. And you can see what we have there now. That's it. And you can see we've got the beginning of our delicious stew. Like that. Gonna put a pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, and the only thing we're going to put in there now of our vegetables are our new potatoes.
Not gonna peel them or anything.
Not going to peel
the
them.
skins are great.
Yeah, we've washed them. They're fine, and they'll go straight into there right now.
So this is really a one-pot stop.
Yeah, one pot dinner. So we've got mix that all together. Make sure the potatoes are covered.
And then we can just leave that.
Then we put the lid on. Set the timer for 30 and come
30
back and see
minutes.
what we've got. Yep, 30 minutes. There we go.
Anyone will do. Egg time.
Okay, so it's been about 25 minutes and we are now going to check to see how our meat is doing. So the way we do that is we take a cube of our beef out, we slice it. I mean, just by cutting it, I can tell that that's very soft. We'll taste a little bit. Succulent. Cooked all the way through. So with our heat still on low, we're going to add our vegetables.
Shall I cut these again?
So the broccoli is very big, so we're just going to cut the broccoli in half.
Okay. Do you want to take those first?
Yeah,
then?
I can put these in now because the broccoli is going to take the shortest time to cook. These carrots will probably take about 5-6 minutes and the broccoli will take a couple of minutes. So we're just going to empty that into our pot, give it a little mix. There, lovely. Yeah, these okay? Yeah, that's perfect.
So the broccoli should be around about this size.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just going to plop those straight into our pan. Woo. Make sure everything's covered with sauce. We're going to make everything, yeah, lovely.
Just cover everything over, yeah.
Nice, hearty. And this is going to be served just with crusty bread. We have our potatoes in here, we've got our sauce, we've got our meat, we've got our vegetables, and just some crusty bread on the side, just to enjoy that with, I think. Pop the lid on, 10 minutes tops, and that's ready. Right guys, so it's been about 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. Our stew is now ready.
It's dark outside.
Yeah.
Waiting for the stew to cook.
Oh. It's a little bit warm. There's our stewie. We're gonna, and our potatoes are cooked now as well. And we shall just put it down onto a plate. As I said, this is going to be served with crusty bread.
Crusty bread.
Crusty bread. Just like that. We have our leftover thyme that we didn't put all in, and we're just going to take some of our leaves and scatter that on the top.
Beautiful. Smells delicious.
I'm just going to take a little bit of this delicious meat, look how soft that is. Brilliant. Mm. Beef stew.
Done.
Done.